This is the plaintiff, Stephanie Cavallaro. She says she was driving in the parking lot of the Social Security office when her car hit a huge pothole, which ripped the whole front end of her car off. The defendant owns the property. He should maintain the property and fix monster potholes like the one that damaged her car. And since he won't pay, she's suing him for the $1,272.05 she's owed. This is the defendant, Joseph Vole. He says the plaintiff never reported the incident when it happened and never called the cops. Besides, this happened in August. All the potholes are filled after the winter. He thinks the woman hit a curb or something and is trying to blame him for something he has no responsibility for. Owe her? Nah. He's accused of cratering a car.
Thank you, Douglas. Stephanie Cavallaro, you are suing Joseph Vole and Worldwide Properties and Englewood of Connecticut Corporation. You're the owner of those entities?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You're suing them for $1,272.05, an estimate to have your car repaired because, according to you, they negligently maintained their parking lot. Tell me what happened.
At the end of summer, August, I had to take care of some business at Social Security Department. And it's a tight parking lot, and there was only one spot open, second from left. And I had no alternative but to take that spot. And when I went into it, the front of the car just dropped right into had to be at least 6-inch deep hole. And I couldn't do anything about it at the moment because I had to get into Social Security. It was very hot that day. I was having asthma problems, and I also had 3 discs in my back and a right hip and leg that needed surgery. So I had to hobble in on a back brace and a cane into Social Security, get in the air conditioning, and take care of my business there. When I was done, I went out to the car.
Wait, but when you were done with your business there, did you alert anybody to what had happened?
There was nobody to alert, nobody available to talk to, so what I did was
how'd you get your business done at Social Security?
I just did what I had to do, got back into
Was there a human you did it with?
Yes.
Did you tell that person that there was a problem in the
No, I waited till I got home, called, and said I needed to let, I didn't know if it was City of Bridgeport or who maintained the property, to let them know that this had happened. I didn't know.
Do you have any evidence of that phone call?
No, but when I wasn't quite sure, I didn't think there would be any damage to my car. When I got into it to go home, by backing it out, the whole front of the car, front end of the car ripped off.
How did backing it out make the front end of the car rip off?
I guess because it had fallen so deep into a hole, backing it out just took the front end off. So, and under the circumstances with the heat, my medical condition, I had to go home and get back in air conditioning.
Okay, so do you have any evidence of making the phone call that same day?
No, just my word that I did it. And
who did you call that day?
I called City of Bridgeport, and I also called Social Security to ask them if they knew who managed the parking lot. And then they told me it was Englewood Properties.
Okay, and when do you call them?
I believe about in the same week I called them. And I held.
How long do you wait before calling them?
It had to be no more than a few days.
Okay, so you call them for the first time several days after it happens.
Right.
And who do you talk to?
I'm not sure if it was Mr. Vole. I know that when I tried, I had difficulty getting to him.
All right, so when you talk to them, you don't know if it's him. What do they say to you?
Well, I'll take a message, he'll call you back. And, I tried to call him a few times, never called back. So what I did was call Connecticut Post.
The newspaper.
Yeah, and tell them about it. And ask them if they would help me contact Mr. Vole, which they did. And they interviewed him. And it was
Now, when did all that happen? Let me see. Oh, now we got your attention, right? Get a call from a reporter. Were you ignoring her phone calls?
No, not at all, Your Honor.
Were you getting phone calls? Because
yes.
Somebody who goes to the paper is frustrated. They've been calling and nobody's been dealing with them. That's the reason that somebody goes to the press, is that it's the last resort because you won't answer. Go ahead.
Her first phone call to our office was October 16th, It was answered by Linda Rowe. It's all our phone calls are recorded. And they actually she wrote into the computer, Linda Rowe here, my witness.
Come on up.
She can come up here.
Hi.
Hi. So tell me about her phone calls.
I took the phone call, and I spoke to Mrs. Cavallero, and she just described to me that, she went into a pothole at the Social Security building. I asked her when. She said in August.
And by then it was October 16th?
October 16th when I had taken the message. So
did she describe to you her efforts to contact you guys or trace the right corporation?
I had just asked her, did you call the police? Like, do you have a photo? Do you have anything? And she had said no. That was that.
What happened with the newspaper?
The newspaper did an interview, called. They didn't call, on the phone. So immediately I said, I'll look into it. I immediately went down to the building. I got a picture of the building. It's a huge building. It's 4 stories, has over 100 and some people in the building. It's full, and it's one of the busiest Social Security offices in the state of Connecticut. And there's a lot of tenants, a lot of activity there.
Had
and there was no
either
reported
of you
pothole.
received any reports from anybody
No
that there were potholes?
And then I even asked about the pothole. With the thing, and she even told the paper. She said she came back a week later and tried to take a picture. It's right in the article. A week later, and said we filled it. Well, first of all, there's no potholes in the summer. If there were potholes, there would have been potholes in the spring from the winter. And you can't get a pot. She said to the newspaper, it was a 1-foot hole. There's only 2.5 inches of asphalt, and underneath the asphalt in the front of the building is a parking garage with 55 parking spaces. And if she went down 4 inches, she'd be in the concrete rebar crack in the parking garage. So, Your Honor, we've never.
Were there any? Did you take a picture of the repairs that you say they'd made?
Yes, and
May I see it?
I didn't bring it with me.
Oh, okay.
I know you guys have difficulty understanding that, but when a person has several chronic medical conditions at the same time,
Okay.
it is difficult for me to respond as quickly as you should.
So, okay, she backs into the space. Her front bumper falls off. You buying what this lady's selling?
Not a chance. Not a chance.
This is a scam?
Almost impossible.
For a front bumper to fall off when you back in?
Right, I mean, bumpers are not put together that loosely.
Fair enough. What about the fact that it happened in August, she says, didn't complain until October?
She probably hit something else before she hit that pothole.
Scam?
Scam.
Yeah, I mean, what else to say going inside the courtroom?
Here's the problem. The bar is not lowered for you in a court of law. Everyone has the right to expect that a plaintiff has a certain burden of proof. You, like every other plaintiff, has the burden of proving by a preponderance of the evidence that things happened the way you're saying.
Can I ask a question?
It's not that hard. All a person in your position does is stop, call the police, document what happened. When you say, I don't understand, I understand. My father's in kidney failure. He's on dialysis. He has severe COPD, and he had a triple coronary bypass. I do understand. But I also understand that if something like this would have happened, he would have brought it up to somebody. I'm not asking you to write a thesis. I'm just asking you to say, hey, this just happened. So I can see that it happened there. Because I owe every litigant that duty to be this skeptical. That is my job, to be skeptical and to demand proof. And I can't just say I feel sorry for somebody, so proof be damned. Out the window. That's not what I do.
May I ask a question, Your
Yes,
Honor?
ma'am.
The Connecticut Post article, is that not proof enough?
No,
that there's
let me tell you what the
damage on
Connecticut
her
Post article
and
is.
my
The Connecticut
medical
Post
condition?
article is you telling the Connecticut Post your version.
Okay.
And the Connecticut Post article is the author saying, shame, shame on you, based on what you say. I do not abdicate my responsibilities to a journalist who's trying to sell newspapers.
But
I listen to the evidence and see if there's proof, and there is insufficient proof. If you leave your car at a parking garage and the parking attendant brings it out and you drive off and a day later or 2 months later you say, hey, you scratched my car, how are you going to prove it happened there and didn't happen somewhere else? It's very fundamental. My verdict in this case is for the defendant.
Well, the plaintiff's on her way out, and even an empathetic judge's hands are tied by the lack of proof, right?
Well, I had plenty of proof. Unfortunately, what I did was not in a timely fashion due to my health. And I think that's probably what made the case fail.
Right. You understood the judge explaining that she can't, that the bar doesn't get lowered because,
Right, I
because of
understand
that.
completely.
So any further comment about this? Or? That's pretty much it for the.
Well, it's just a shame that it happens to people like me, because I would venture a guess it happened to probably 10 people before me and after me. So,
All right. Well,
anyway,
hope you feel good.
Thank you, Jerry.
All right. Head right down this way. Okay. All right. All right. So come on out here. I guess if you could put yourself in her shoes, what would you feel?
I feel bad for her because, something happened, but apparently didn't happen at that property because they have 2 policemen out front and Social Security. She could have got anybody in the building, a policeman, a security guard. She could have reported. She could have called not 2 months later and say in August she couldn't talk to anybody because it was too hot and she was disabled.
So she's making it up that it happened in front of your place?
Definitely couldn't have happened.
Making it up.
I think she's making it up.
All right. What do you think, Harvey?
Okay, Kurt, here's what I think. That when you are in a situation where you get your car damaged or whatever in a parking lot, if you leave that parking lot without complaining in some form, I am telling you it is virtually impossible to pin the blame on the person in the parking lot. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.